One of the main parts of my thesis was a case study between Western Michigan and University of Minnesota Duluth, because they're extremely similar. They have, they're both public D1 universities. They both have around the same number of undergraduate students, I think 9,000 versus 13,000, so they're pretty similar there. And then the key difference that I found was that University of Minnesota Duluth does sponsor a women's hockey team while Western Michigan doesn't.
Hey everyone, it is Tony Will. I am back with a really exciting episode of Women In. I cannot wait for you to meet this next guest. But before you meet her, let me tell you what you're listening to. Women In is a podcast that celebrates women from all walks of life and the people who uplift them. Each episode features incredible voices from my world, sharing stories that spark inspiration, challenge the status quo, and remind us that empowering women empowers everyone. This is a bold, curious, and uncensored space where disruption is welcome, forward thinking is encouraged, and change is the goal. I'm passionate about breaking down barriers, not just for us, but for the next generations. Whether our paths cross professionally or personally, these conversations matter. Let's dive in and celebrate the power of connection, growth, and the people who are shaping our world, and this woman is definitely one of them. Lauren Young is a recent honors graduate of Western Michigan University, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Sports Management with minors in Event Management and Communications. Throughout her academic career, she gained valuable experience in recreation, event operations, facilities management, coaching, and leadership development through various roles within the university and community sports organizations. Lauren is especially passionate about advancing opportunities for women in sport and promoting greater equity within athletic programs. Her honors thesis examined the feasibility of implementing a varsity women's ice hockey program at Western Michigan University, exploring the financial, operational, and community impacts of adding the sport. Through this research, she combined her love for hockey with her commitment to expanding opportunities for female athletes. As she begins the next chapter of her academic and professional journey, Lauren will attend East Tennessee State University to pursue her MBA with a concentration in sports administration, where she hopes to continue developing the skills needed to make a lasting impact in the sports industry and to advocate for the growth of women's athletics. Wow. Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
I'm just thrilled to have you on. So let's start from the top and tell everyone how you and I met.
Yeah, so we actually met through LinkedIn. You reached out to me because of my work on my honors thesis, and you know the title, Why Western Michigan University Should Sponsor a Varsity Women's Ice Hockey Team. My professor, Deb Droppers, had posted on LinkedIn about my work, and so that's how we met.
Yes, and we are both in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And right now, in case anyone hears it in the background, there's a thunderstorm coming through. So we are both recording this, fingers crossed, that the power doesn't go out, although I do have a generator. But if you hear any thunder, that's what that's all about. So, but Lauren and I have not met, even though we're in the same city. We haven't met in person yet, and but we will one day, and Western Michigan University being both of our alma maters as well.
Yeah, very exciting.
So, okay, I want to start from the beginning. I mean, you're young and your bio outlined, what's next for you. But I want to take me back. I want you to talk about, as far back as you want to go, but, what got you interested in hockey? The path that led you to writing this thesis that you did. So recreationally, or just being a female athlete, and you're up and coming, coming of age and all of that. So a big question, but take it from there and share your story.
Sure. Well, I think I'll start with, growing up, I always was involved in a bunch of different sports. So when I came to Western, I originally didn't have like a major or anything. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I took Intro to Sports Management in my very first semester. So that once I took that, it kind of pushed me, and I was like, yeah, this is something that I want to pursue. This is something that I'm interested in. And once I made that choice, it really changed everything. I got a job with University Recreation on campus, and that really sparked everything for me. It's really, encouraged the path that I've taken so far. And the thesis idea actually came about when I was at work at the Student Recreation Center. It was just a casual conversation. Me and my friends were talking, and we were talking about being a Lawson lunatic and going to the ice hockey game. We were probably planning on going later that day. And then, it just kind of spiraled into, why don't we have a women's ice hockey team? So that's how, like, the seed was planted into my head originally. And then when it came time to write the thesis, it was something I was really excited about, learning more and seeing if it could be possible for Western.
Tell everyone who's like, what the heck is a Lawson lunatic? So tell everyone what, because I know what it is and you do, but if someone's listening to this, they're like, what is she talking about?
So all of the student fans who go to Western Michigan hockey games are called the Lawson Lunatics. We're crazy. We boo people, we curse at them, we wave keys at them. It's just, it's like a community, and it's a great, really fun thing to be a part of.
You all are like, you are lunatics. When I went to Western Michigan University, ice hockey was there, but I didn't go to any games. So the first time I saw the Lawson Lunatics in action, I was like, oh my God. And my kids are the same age as you are. And I'm like, they're acting like, and listen, I swear, I don't, it's not a big deal, but you all get rowdy.
Oh, for sure.
But it brings a great environment to the to Lawson. And what's interesting, just for knowledge about the Kalamazoo area, so Wings Event Center, where the Kalamazoo Wings play, and then Lawson Arena is where the Western Michigan University Broncos play. Both of our buildings opened in 1974. So hockey really was booming in the mid-70s. And now we, the Western Michigan University Broncos and the Kalamazoo Wings, are moving into the same brand new arena in like 16 months, 17 months here, along with men's and women's basketball from WMU. And so we're going to be under the same roof, which is really almost unheard of in terms of professional and collegiate sports kind of sharing a home. I call it an arranged marriage.
No, yeah, it's such an exciting time to be in Kalamazoo. And, with the opening of that new event center, I think everyone's really excited for it.
Yeah, and just for some background, we've been working on this arena for 3 years, and we met the leadership team, and I've been part of the core team on this project since the beginning. We met with the Lawson Lunatics to learn what you all want in a arena experience. And so what's interesting about that is the people we were meeting weren't going to experience it, similar to you. So what does that feel like, and how do you, I guess, kind of make peace with the fact that you're not going to be there necessarily when we open this?
Well, it feels like a legacy. Like, it feels like something that I'm always going to be a part of now that I've been a part of it. And like, I think we've had a very special experience being able to be a Lawson Lunatic at Lawson Ice Arena. But I think the Lunatics will not die with Lawson. I think they'll continue on the legacy, like I was saying, with this new event center. Mm-hmm. And I fully intend on coming back and visiting. I mean, how could I miss something amazing like this?
I knew that would be part of the answer. Okay, so your thesis, will you explain to the audience if they're like, what is the process of writing a thesis? How long does it take? How do you pick your topic? What were some highs of this process of writing a thesis? What's the hardest part? So there's a lot in that, but tell me the journey through writing a thesis and answer some of those questions I just threw out.
Yeah, so it's an undergraduate thesis, so I'd say it's like a baby step into like academic writing, and kind of that process. Western really holds your hand while you go through this as an undergraduate. So there was a class that I took um, a year and a half before I actually started writing my thesis. And it was like how to write your thesis, how to brainstorm ideas. This is where I came up with my ideas. I got feedback from a professor about it, like my ideas and how to make it better. I got feedback from other peers who are going through the same thing. And so that was really where I decided on my idea. Although I was fairly confident once I came up with the idea that that was what I was going to roll with. It's always good to get feedback on those sorts of things, anyways, because it can always be better. And then once that course finished up, really it's your senior year where you write the thesis. I'd say the hardest part of writing the thesis was starting to write it. As silly as that might sound, actually sitting down there with a blank piece of paper was the hardest part for me. Once I got going, it was, the ideas flowed from my head so fast, but the original start down on an empty piece of paper, that was really difficult. I think, some of the highlights of writing it was once it was done and being able to share it with people, it's gotten a lot of positive feedback. So that's been super exciting and like rewarding to know that my work has reached other people already and people are interested. Is there anything I missed there? I think
What's some of the lows? What's some of the stuff where it's like, man, this I had a bad day with this, or I don't know if you were interviewing people for your thesis or you were like researching online or a mix of both.
Yeah, a majority of it was just research from online, pulling from Western Michigan websites, other, academic writing about women's hockey, which there isn't a lot of. So that was pretty difficult. In times where I got stuck, I love working out. So if I was really stuck and frustrated with it, I would just go to the gym, leave it for a few hours, maybe even a day, and I'd circle back to it. But like just taking those mental breaks, because it is a lot. There's a lot of information to sort through, to get organized. But I was able to, get through those challenges.
So tell me what some of the things you learned in your thesis that the audience might find interesting. Like you're saying, there's not a lot out there on women's hockey, and I like to point out women in sports real quick because there's two different distinctions. There's women in sports leadership or the business side, and that's the side I'm on as a female leader in sports in a male dominated sport, meaning men's professional hockey. And then there's the female athlete. That's what your thesis focused on. So what are some things that the audience might find interesting about the research you did and what you put in the thesis?
Yeah, so one of the main parts of my thesis was a case study between Western Michigan and University of Minnesota Duluth, because they're extremely similar. They're both public D1 universities. They both have around the same number of undergraduate students, I think 9,000 versus 13,000, so they're pretty similar there. And then the key difference that I found was that University of Minnesota Duluth does sponsor a women's hockey team while Western Michigan doesn't. And that's something that I really dove into and really compared the two, just to give more of like a reason for why that Western Michigan should have one. And then I also broke it into the thesis. I broke it into phases. So I have phase one, which is kind of the case study support there, and then phase two, which is Title IX and equity considerations. Specifically how adding a women's hockey program would align with any compliance requirements and just broader gender equity goals within athletics. I have phase three, which examined overall the possibility of including this team, financial considerations. I wrote a grant for one of my other classes that I included as an appendix to my thesis. So how could we actually get this money? How could we actually make it possible? And then, of course, the facility. The new event center was a huge pillar of my thesis and why we should have one. It's the perfect time with the new facility. And then also recruiting coaches, players, and community support, I think, was super important. So we do have a very hockey-driven market in Kalamazoo. Overall, all of those things just showed where how this could actually happen.
How long is your thesis?
Page-wise, I think 22 pages of writing.
Okay, and how long did it take you?
A year, I would say.
A year?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Would you do it again?
Oh, of course.
You would do it again? Okay. Because there...
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was such an incredible process, and since it was my first experience with any sort of writing of this kind, I think Western really does it. They support you so much through the whole process. And I had a great thesis chair and committee, so shout out to Dr. Lewis and Deb Droppers. They spent a lot of time rereading my work, giving me edits. And just having that collaboration with them too. That was really important for my growth and development as a person.
Let's talk about that. I mean, how old are you, Lauren? Normally I don't ask, but I know you're very young.
No, I just turned 22.
22 years old. Okay, you're my son's age. And so where do you see this? Tell me about the growth and development part. Where have you seen yourself grow through this experience?
I mean, just in every single way. I feel even the way that I think is different. When you're just 18 and starting your freshman year, there's so much maturity that happens being away from home, meeting professors and people that will become important mentors to you who change everything. It's just really insane to think back on where I was and where I am now, and how much I've grown, as a early career professional, you could say.
Mm-hmm. So while you were going to school, were you working as well?
Yeah, I worked at the Student Recreation Center for all 4 years. Great on-campus job. They work around your schedule.
And what were you doing at the rec center?
Oh man, what haven't I done? I started off as a facilities associate, so we would check the people in. I also, that first year, started as an intramural official. I worked my way up through both programs. So eventually I was a facility manager, so I'm CPR and first aid certified. If anyone needs any help throughout the facility or if they have any problems, really, I would be the person that they could come to for help. And then I also worked my way up in intramurals. I became a site manager, so wherever our site was for that specific intramural game, I would be the one in charge there. And then this year, I also moved up to program assistant of intramural sports. So there's only one program assistant, and they pretty much oversee all the site managers and officials, really right-hand man to the assistant director of intramural sports. So I worked very closely with my supervisor, Kyle Bellback, who he watched me from day one. He hired me, and then he just got a new position within University Recreation, so we were together for that whole entire time, which was really special.
So how did you balance school and your work responsibilities? And I'm noting that you're very driven because you were moving up. So how did you balance all that?
You know, my planner is my best friend. um, I've had a paper planner since I was probably in middle school, and I write down
I
every
love it.
single thing I ever need in there. And that just really helps me organize my mind, the tasks that I have to do, when I should do them, like carving out time within a day. Uh, and that's just keep me organized, and that's, what keeps me balanced with school and work. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you're 22 and you have a handwritten planner like you're a 48-year-old. I love it.
No, there's no other way, truly.
So do you do anything? I mean, I know you're on the computer and stuff, but do you have a digital calendar too, or is it just written?
Um, if I write it down, it's real. If it's, I have to write down the digital stuff onto my paper.
You do. Okay. So like our interview today, because I send you a digital invite, you accepted it, but you go write it in your calendar, like Tony or however you
Yes.
wrote it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so you're off to Tennessee, and when are you moving?
I'm moving July 19th.
Okay, and so talk about that. How does this feel? Because this is a big step. You're moving out of Michigan. You've accomplished a ton in 4 years. And what do you hope to get out of your experience at
Yeah, I
Tennessee?
feel so excited to be moving down there. I was born and raised in Michigan. I'm from the east side, Northville, Michigan. So Kalamazoo is about 2 hours away from where I grew up. And I think for undergrad, that was like the perfect amount of space. I didn't really want to go home just like for the weekend. Like it didn't seem like enough time, so I just go home for holidays. And I think that really like pushed me to get involved within the Kalamazoo community, make friends, make connections here, so that you know I didn't want to run home every single weekend, which sometimes that happens. And I just felt like this would be the best way to push myself for undergrad. Now moving on to grad school, I'm really excited for this challenge of being a graduate assistant at East Tennessee State. Their program is extremely similar to Western's, but I'm going to have a lot more responsibilities within their rec department and running intramurals and club sports. That's not I've not had an opportunity to be a part of club sports at all during my time here. I'm also just excited for all the new opportunities and things that I'm going to learn that I don't even know yet. That like you don't know what you don't know kind of saying. So I'm just really excited to get down there and get my hands dirty and work hard and see how it goes.
Do you know anyone there?
No.
Oh my goodness, look at you. I mean, this is the time to do this. This is the stage of life. And this is your first time living outside of Michigan. So are you living on campus or do you have an apartment?
Yeah, I'm gonna have an apartment. It's a 10-minute drive from campus, so
Okay. That's pretty exciting. So you've got a bright future ahead of you. Tell me, let's talk about the women in your life because clearly you were raised right. So who are the women in your life that have helped you become the very driven woman that sits before me today?
yeah, so I want to, of course, shout out my mom. She recently, actually, today was her last day. She just retired after 29 years of being an educator. She was in kindergarten
Wow.
for most of that time. She did third grade, like for a few years also. But really watching her dedicate herself to the students year after year, it taught me so much about patience, kindness, and just the importance of showing up for others, even if the work is difficult, because working with 5-year-olds is difficult.
They are stinking cute
Oh,
though,
they're so
but
adorable.
that is, what's your mom's name?
She's Becky.
Becky, congratulations, Becky. This won't air till August, but she'll be full retirement mode. So is she gonna do? Is she just kicking back, or is she gonna have a second act in the
I
working
think she
world?
is going to have a second act. However, she's definitely taking the summer off and just going to relax. My dad's mom has a cottage up in Traverse City. I think she's going to spend a lot of time up there, just float on the lake. She deserves it.
Good, good for her. Well, she's got to be younger-ish, like, because you're my son's age, so
No, yeah, she's a little bit young to be retiring, but it's fine.
okay. But hey, you do you, Becky. Who else? Who else is some of the important women in your life?
Well, I would also say Deb Droppers, the event
Mm-hmm.
management professor at Western Michigan University. She's also the founder and executive director of Kalamazoo Experiential Learning Center. So she's been an incredible mentor to me throughout my college career, just overall my time at Western. Um, she leads a very, very busy life, and she always makes time for the people who need her. That's something that I really look up to. I've been interning with her for the past month and a half, probably, and she's just taught me a lot about learning by doing. So, like, she'll give me a project and make me do it. And, you know, it kind of ends up how it ends up. But she supports me throughout all of that. Effective communication is something I think she really values. She's always on the phone with someone. A lot of people need a piece of her, so she's so dedicated. She's challenged me so much, throughout my whole time at Western, but a lot now that I've become an intern for her. I'm just so grateful that she's, really taken me under her wing and invested in my development.
Yeah, Deb's great. As you and I talked when we met virtually the first time when I reached out to you, I've known her a very long time, and yeah, she's one in a million. So you're in great hands, and what a great experience, and what a great mentor to have. And as you go to Tennessee too, I'm sure you'll stay connected with
Oh,
her.
yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. So, are there any other women on your list?
I do have one more. Her
Okay.
name is Hannah McQueen Ziegler. She's the Senior Assistant Director of Operations and Member Services at the Student Recreation Center. She's probably one of the most influential supervisors that I've had. She's always been one of my biggest supporters. Getting a graduate assistantship is very competitive, and that process was not easy to go through. I had applied to 22 schools for graduate assistants by the end of that. So I really wanted, I really
Wow.
wanted to make sure that that happened for me. So I was extra careful. I shouldn't have been worried.
So wait, you applied for 22 not because you got turned down by 21 out of the 22. You just were like, I'm going for quantity, and then I'll have a choice. And is that what happened?
Yes. Yeah.
So how many of them offered you a position?
So I only had gotten the offer from East Tennessee State. There was other offers that had been kind of in the works on the back end that I didn't know about. And then when I accepted at ETSU, I, respectfully declined from the process of any more interviews, uh, just because I didn't want them. I wasn't going to accept any other offer once I had accepted one. It just didn't feel right to me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would just back out, and I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs. So
Yeah. No, well, hey, you chose a path, and you just got to trust that instinct. There's something to be said for that. So Lauren, I named the podcast "Women in dot dot dot" very intentionally. Originally, the podcast was going to be about women in sports, and then I was like, we're much bigger than our occupation, so I kicked out the word sports. I also wanted to have men on the podcast too. And I always point this out with the majority of my guests. The word men is in women. They're important women in men's lives, and men came from women. And so I wanted to have men on the podcast too. But for the women that come on the podcast, I'd say, hey, how would you fill in those three dots? So women in what for you, Lauren?
For me, I think it is women in recreation, uh, working out for fun, getting people moving. You know, not everyone's going to have that professional career, and that's something that I really like being a part of in the community that, recreation builds for people. It's just so rewarding to be a part of.
Yeah, that's really great. I have not 200. I think you're 228. 228 interviews. No one has given me that answer. Women in recreation. So, how do you lift women up, Lauren?
Well, I've been extremely fortunate to have incredible women invest in me throughout my life. And I think one of the best ways to honor that is by doing the same for others. Of course, I am extremely young right now, so I haven't had a ton of chances to really make a huge impact. Oh, I don't want to say that because that seems like it's.
Yeah, I mean, you wrote this thesis that lifted so many. I mean, it captured my attention. So,
Well, the gist of it is I'm still young and I still have a lot more opportunities to give back eventually.
you do.
But I'd say for now, if I'm encouraging a younger student employee or helping a coworker build confidence or advocating for opportunities for women in sports like I've been doing, I just want to be someone who tries to support and uplift, oh my gosh, others. Um, and sometimes that's listening, sometimes it's offering encouragement. Um, that could end up help someone realize that they're more than they thought they were capable of.
Yeah. Tell me what, and this isn't on any question I sent you, and you noticed half the questions aren't over there, but what is important to your generation, to Gen Z?
In general, or like in the
Yeah.
workplace?
Just in general.
I think for me, something that's important is like having hobbies and being a part of something that's bigger than myself, like being a part of that community. I think with COVID, we were all really isolated and affected by that because we were in middle school and high school when that first happened. So for me, like being a part of things outside of, just work or just school, that's something that I really value. And hopefully, like, I can include, like, hobbies and things that I'm interested in that or meet people that have the same interest as me.
Yeah. All right, I want to ask you some fun questions. Okay?
Yeah.
You ready? All right, when you do laundry, there are two types of people, okay? The people that throw all the laundry in one load or separate lights and darks or colors from whites. What are you?
Oh, well, I throw it all in at once. I don't have time to separate and do two loads.
Okay, good. Here's a new one I thought of. There's two types of people in the world. There's Apple users and then there's Android. Which one are you?
Apple.
Yeah, me too. Man, when I get in a text thread with someone with an Android or when a group thread we're all an Apple and there's that one Android and it just messes it all up.
Yeah, the green text. I don't like those.
No, I don't either. Okay, I've got another one, but I don't know. Well, I'll go with this one. Okay, two types of people. We're back to this. So if you open up the refrigerator and you grab a bottle of like balsamic vinegar salad dressing and you look at the expiration date and it's like 2 weeks past expiration date, are you going to use it or are you going to throw it away?
If it was like a dressing, I would probably use it.
Okay, me too.
But if it was like
Why not?
meat or cheese, I'd probably throw it away. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now, my husband, one day past the due date, this is how this all started. And I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh my gosh. Lauren, this has been such a pleasure. I am really excited for your future. congratulations on all the great feedback you had on your thesis. When I saw it on LinkedIn, I was like, I'm going to reach out to this young woman because she's clearly, we have a lot of things in common, and two totally different generations, but striving for the same thing. And you're the type of young woman that I'm like, I can tell you're going places, and come on it in the elevator with me. So I hope you keep me posted on as you work on your graduate work in Tennessee, and who knows where this career path will take
Yes,
you.
thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. And Lauren, if people want to connect with you, how can they find you?
I would say on LinkedIn, you can find me if you search up Lauren Young. There is like a website, but it's super long. I won't read it to you. Just search Lauren Young, you'll find me. And then also, if you want to reach out to me via email, it is youngla76028@gmail.com. I know it's a mouthful, but I was like 12 when I came up with it. So,
That's awesome. And if you all are like, I want to connect with Lauren and I didn't write her email down, you can reach out to me and I will connect you with her. So, oh, Lauren, thank you. And you know what? I want to reiterate one thing for if young people are listening to this. Lauren, and I tell anyone that when I go speak, especially at universities, if you don't have a LinkedIn, you need one. And Lauren had one. That's how I messaged her, because that is, I mean, it's not just for old people, okay? So it's smart to have one. So kudos to you for having your LinkedIn going.
thanks.
So, all right, y'all. I am not hard to find. The hockey side of my life is at kwings.com, and then everything else I'm working on with the big, as the regular listeners know, my book is coming out. Rebellious Success. It's available for pre-order now. You can go to tonywill.com for that. It will be in bookstores and in your mailbox on August 11th, which is the published date. And then everything else I'm working on, the podcast, my coaching, and all the other things that I love to do can also be found at tonywill.com. And I'm on all social media platforms as well. Until next time.